Hello everyone, let's start today's computer class. And as you know, from today we are starting our revision classes. And in revision, first we will start with first chapter, and that is computer language and its application. So as this is revision, we will not go in that depth, but we will discuss only key points. So the topics which we are going to cover are computer language, its types, what is Java, features and types of Java programs. So let's begin with computer language. Now before coming to the computer language, first we will discuss what is language. And as we all know, language is a medium to communicate with others or to share our ideas and views. So what is computer language? Now computer language is a language through which we can communicate with computer. There are different types of computer languages like C, C++, Java, Python, etc. So these are the different types of computer languages. Now we will discuss types of computer language. Types of computer language. So there are two types of computer language. One is low level and another is high level language. And low level language again categorized into machine language and assembly language. And high level language like C, C++, Java, Basic, etc. Fine. So these are high level language. Now, first the language which we used is machine level language. And machine level language was in the form of 0 and 1. So whatever instruction we wanted to give to the computer was in the term of 0, 1. For example, if I want to instruct computer to add two numbers, so how will I write in terms of machine level language? I will write suppose 0, 1, 1, 0, 1, 1, 0. Suppose this is the code for addition. Now the two numbers 0, 1 and 1, 0. Fine. Sort of this will be the machine level instruction. Now what do you think? Would it be easy for the user to write instruction in terms of 0, 1? No. Because in this case, we need to memorize the codes like code for addition, code for subtraction and so on. So this was not easy for the user to write instruction in terms of 0 and 1. Now, what was the other disadvantage? Other disadvantage was, the main disadvantage was, machine level language was machine dependent. Fine. Now what do you mean by machine dependent? Machine dependent means the computer in which we are writing the program, on that particular computer we can run the program. We cannot run the program on any other machine. The machine on which we are writing the program, on that machine only we can run the program. This is called machine dependency. Fine. So these were the two main disadvantages, and the advantage was, as we are giving the instruction in 0, 1 and computer understands 0, 1 directly. So it doesn't need any translator. It can be directly understood and the speed will be faster. Execution speed will be faster. So to overcome these disadvantages, we invented assembly language. Now in assembly language, instead of 0, 1, we started using mnemonics. What is the spelling of mnemonics? We start with M. Mnemonics. Now what are mnemonics? Mnemonics are the special symbols which we use in assembly language to instruct the computer. For example, for addition, instead of writing 0, 1, 0, 1, what we used to write? Add. Add. Now to add two numbers, we will write add 0, 1, 1, 0. Suppose. Sort of this. Now which one will be easier for the user to write instruction? This one or this one? Obviously this one, because this is more easier for the user to learn to write the instruction in terms of these types of symbols. These are called mnemonics. So this was the advantage of assembly language. Now what was the disadvantage? If you are giving instruction in terms of mnemonic, that will not be directly understood by computer. So what do you need? You need a translator, and the translator in case of assembly language was assembler. So assembler is a translator which converts assembly level language into the machine level language or 0-1, because ultimately computer understands 0-1. So we need to convert every language, whether it is high, whether it is assembly language, in the form of 0 or 1. Fine. So in this case we need translator. And what else? The second disadvantage is this is also machine dependent as machine level language. So both these are machine dependent. Fine. Due to this machine dependency, both of these languages are called low level language. Fine. So advantage is easy for the user to write instruction. Disadvantage, first one machine dependent, and the second one, what was the second one? First one is a machine dependent. This is the disadvantage, and the second one is it needs translator. I hope it is clear. Now, so this also have some disadvantages. To overcome these disadvantages, we invented high level languages. So what are the advantages of high level languages? In high level languages, we started using English words, very simple words which were usually used for the communication. So for the user, it is very easy to write instruction in terms of high level language. Again, it will not be directly understood by a computer. Then in this case also it needs a translator, and the translator is either compiler or interpreter. Fine. So these are the examples: C, C++, Java, Basic. These are the examples of high level language. And compiler, interpreter. What is the difference between compiler and interpreter? Both are translators. Fine. Then what is the difference? Compiler converts whole program at once, and interpreter converts line by line. Interpreter read first line and then convert into the machine level language or binary language, we can say. Then come to the second line. If any error is there, it will display the error line wise. But in this case, in the case of compiler, it will read the whole program at once. If any error is there, it will show you the list of errors in whole program. Then after that, it will convert into the binary language. I hope it is clear. Types of languages. Now, next is what is Java? Fine. So we will come to the Java now. These topics we have already covered so many times. I hope it is clear. Now, what is Java? Java is a high-level programming language. It is also an object-oriented programming language. And earlier, its name was OAK. O-A-K. It was known as OAK. Fine. And it was developed by James Gosling, I think in 1995. It was developed by James Gosling in 1995. Now, why Java has become so popular? What was the important feature of Java which makes it so preferable, so important, and what was the main feature? And that main feature is platform independent. So this is the main feature of Java which makes the Java so popular. Fine. And there is a one term related to Java platform independency, VORA. This is called VORA. Write once, run anywhere. What does it mean? It means Suppose you have written the Java program in any machine, you have compiled the program, you can run that program on any other machine having any other platform. Fine. Suppose you are writing a program on a machine having like Windows operating system. Fine. You have compiled the program. Now you can run that compiled program on any machine having Unix, having Linux, having any other operating system. Fine. So that's why we call it, and without recompilation. Once you compile, no need to compile it again. Fine. So this is called write once, run anywhere. Fine. You have to write only once on any machine, and you can run that compiled program on any other machine having any platform without recompilation. Fine. Now this is called platform independency. This is the feature. Fine. Now we will discuss features of Java. So what are the main features of Java? Now the first main features, I am noting this. Now we are discussing features of Java. Fine. So first feature is Java is platform independent. Second is Java is object oriented programming language. Fine. Third one, Java is case sensitive. Fourth one, Java is a secure language. Java uses Unicode character set. Now these are the main features of Java. So first one, just now we have discussed under Vora, the same thing is this. It is a platform independent, it is a portable language, because once you write on any platform, you can run on any other machine having any platform. Fine. So this is the main feature of Java. Now the second is, it's a object oriented programming language. Now the third is, Java is case sensitive. What do you mean by case sensitive? Case sensitive means it treats capital and lowercase letters differently. Fine. Suppose you have taken a variable small a and another you have taken capital A. So both have different meaning. Both will be treated differently. So it's a case sensitive language. It's a secure language. Java is a secure language. Why? Because Java works in its own environment. It doesn't affect the file system of computer. It works in its own environment without affecting the file system of computer. That's why it is secure. It uses Unicode character set. Unicode character set in video also we discussed. What is Unicode character set? See, when you press any key on the keyboard, like A or B, any alphabet, any symbol, so it generates one ASCII code. Fine. And in computer memory, ASCII code will be saved. Now, ASCII codes are limited in number. Around 127 ASCII codes are there. But Unicode character set are around 1 lakh. Fine. So that's why Java prefer Unicode character set. Unicode character set includes the all ASCII code, but it has a higher range as compared to the ASCII code. That's why in Java we prefer Unicode character set, and it covers different types of language, different languages also it covers. Fine, not only English, it covers different languages. That's why we prefer Unicode character set in Java. So these were the features, 5 main features. I hope it is clear. Now, last topic is type of Java program. Now, how many types of Java programs are there? I hope you remember there are two types of Java program. Which one? Java programs. First one is application program. Fine. And the second one is applet. Now we will see the difference between application program and applets. Application programs are also called standalone programs. Standalone programs. Now what are standalone programs? These are the programs which we can run on standalone machine. Fine. And all the application programs contains or have which method? Main method. And whatever programs we will make in our class, in this class, all the programs will be application programs, and all application programs have main method, and when we run the application program, execution begins with main method. Execution starts with main method. Fine. So this is application program. Now comes to the applets. Applets are the smart programs, we can say, or the small programs which we can upload on the internet. Fine. Which we can upload on the internet and which can be viewed through the web browser. How can you see the applets? Through web browser. Fine. Now, how can you embed these applets so that you can see, see the or view the applets on web browser? See, web browser understands only HTML. So, to include applets in HTML, we write the code of applets within HTML code. Like as you insert the image in HTML, what you give? IMG, SRC, you write the code within HTML. Similarly, to include applets in HTML, you include its code within the HTML code so that it can be visible on the web browser. So these are the smart programs or internet programs which can be uploaded easily. Fine. So this is the difference between application programs and applets. So that's it in chapter 1. I hope it would be more beneficial for you all. So start doing the revision, and still if there is any problem you can write to me. So thank you so much. Thank you.